Happy New Year, everyone. What's good? What's good? Hope everyone's having a blessed Sunday, man. And I pray everyone, starting off the new year, get all the goals achieved and um, whatever you want to do this year. Hope you get it done. But y'all know what it is, man. We are having another installment of the Southern Baller Show. Of course, last 2 weeks, was enjoying the family with the vacation holiday. So, or holiday vacation, I should say. So, yeah, this episode being long overdue. The other brothers, if they have time, will hop on. Coach absolutely will hop on, but he um, gonna hop on a little bit later. But JB, how's everything going, man?
Hey man, it's 2025, man. Let's get it, man. I'm blessed. Enjoying my Sunday, man. Just sitting back and relaxing.
Okay, okay, all right. I know that's right, man. Y'all enjoy, sit back, listen to us, babble and just enjoy your Sunday, man. But and of course, hit my like button. Uh, and even if you don't like the content, please share it. Maybe there's somebody that does like what we're talking about. So please don't be selfish. Uh, but JB, we have to go into the college football games that playoffs that have happened uh, while we were away. Uh,
Yep, yep.
one thing I want to say, I ate crow. Of course, I picked Texas to beat Arizona State, but I thought it was going to be worse, man. I thought it was going to be a blowout. Um, I know that Cam Scatterboo is a beast over there. He was a Heisman hopeful this past year, college football season. So we knew he had the goods, but I did not expect Arizona State to keep it as close as it did. Um, Cam, man, shout out to Cam Scatterboo. He is everything that he say he is. He's a grinder. He's a dog. Feed him the rock. He'll get stronger as the game goes on. I can honestly say he put the team on his back. And the quarterback they have, I'm blanking on his name. He played decent, but shout out to Cam Scatterboo, man. He kept the Sun Devils in that game. JB, what was your opinion on Texas beating Arizona State 39-31?
Actually, I thought this was probably the most winnable games as far as being upsetting one of the blue blood teams like Texas. Even though I know that Arizona is ranked number 4,
Mm-hmm.
but we know Texas is a blue blood team like Ohio State, Tennessee, Penn State, Notre Dame. But it was a good game. It went as most people thought it was. You know, Texas was controlling the line of scrimmage. The linebackers was flying around in Arizona. Even Scatterable looked like they didn't face this type of speed on defense before. But Arizona State got a good coach over there. They
Mm-hmm.
adjusted. Uh, Scatterable started finding lanes. They started, the quarterback started playing better. The defense, let me say this: Arizona State defense is better than I thought it was. I'll eat crow. I didn't think Arizona State defense was going to be that good, but Texas has two good running backs. They was struggling running the ball. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they were
Yeah.
struggling running the ball. So shout out to Arizona State. Um, there was some controversy, you know, especially with that late hit, not late hit, but illegal hit on the defensive player. They didn't call it against Texas. A lot of people thought it should have been an illegal hit, but this is the type of refs we have nowadays. They
Yeah.
want to, they want to push the rules, but when it's time to call it against certain people, they don't call it. So that's
Mm,
what it is.
mm.
But hey, I enjoyed the game.
I did too, man. I did too. I thought it was gonna be another blowout. Um, but it was very entertaining. So Arizona, excuse me, Texas got the overtime win against Arizona State 39-31. And salute to everybody in the chat, brother Big Joe Town. He said salute to the family in that chat early. My boy Coach 67 Sports TV. He said salute to the family and everyone coming through to show some love. You are greatly appreciated. Peace and blessings. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes. Everyone is coming in showing love. I appreciate y'all. Um, Mr. Shelton,
Salute,
Mr. Shelton, Brock, MF, and Purdy. Yeah, right.
bro. The 49 ain't the 49ers like they dog, you know, dog water, man. Dog bowl water, man. Look, man. 49ers ain't been shit since week 5, but hey, salute to you to continue, supporting your
You a fan.
team. True fan. So I can't
Yeah,
be too mad.
yeah, my LDBC brother, Mr. Shelton. Appreciate you, man. Always supporting. The Autism Boy, always supporting. Appreciate you, man. He said, salute Gerald O'Leary Green. Um, I don't believe Texas is winning the Natty, Autism Boy. To answer your question, I don't believe that they are. I believe somebody like Ohio State. Oh, Memphis man in the building. Anthony Bolton, salute, brother. Always support.
Salute Anthony Bolton.
And we're gonna save that Ohio State game or Oregon game last. Uh,
And
Penn
I want to
State.
say, man,
No.
I
I'm gonna
wasn't
say the
blown away
game.
by
Go ahead.
Quentin Ewers.
No,
Quint
and
was
shout
it
out to
Quinn
Joe
Ewers?
Town. He did call that. He never been all season. He been not impressed with Quinn Ewers. He feels like he a walking um, choke artist. When it comes to certain phases of the game, when the game is on the line, and he putting up the numbers, but yeah, a lot of yeah, he's not consistent at
He
all.
he he made one good throw at the end of the game. That was good to I think Bolton or Golden. I think it's a freshman receiver. One of their top receivers was down, either Bolton or Golden, and homie stepped up and was making plays for Texas. But other than that, Quinn Ewers ain't really do nothing that game, man, to blow me away. So Penn State, Notre Dame, Ohio State got a chance.
Okay. Now we going to the next game. What did you think about the Penn State versus Boise State game?
Uh, it's basically what the brothers up here predicted it to be. They controlled Penn State controlled the line of scrimmage like they did SMU. Um, really, Genty really didn't have anywhere to go. Now, let me tell you something. Genty was making the first man miss and sometimes the second man miss. He just couldn't get
Fighting. You fighting.
to the second level. He couldn't get to the second level because Penn State was too fast. Same thing with the boy Jennings from SMU was experienced. He didn't. Penn State is fast on defense.
Rashad Smith, they running back, SMU running back, yeah.
Yes, they're fast on defense. They fly around on defense. And Genty, and then Genty dropped the peel on the field a couple of times. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, he did.
and that whoever the defensive coordinator for Penn State, he needed to be saluted. Them boys fly to the ball. If the first man missed, the third and fourth man is going to hit you and hit you hard. So Penn State showed, and just like Texas, Penn State got a two-headed monster. number 10 and number 13, I believe.
Yeah,
Them dudes is dogs.
they they run they run like you slap
Hard.
their grandma or something. They run
Yes,
hard. They run
they
angry.
run hard. And then their quarterback is just a normal Penn State quarterback. He's okay. He can run a little bit. He just here's the keys to the car. Don't mess it up. Those are just the general Penn State quarterbacks. They're not going to be. I think he may be a decent backup in the next level, but other than that,
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you're right. You may be right, man. And Anthony Bolton said Quinn Ewers is Daniel Jones at Duke all over again. That's crazy. And of course, I have my boy Coach 67 Sports TV, my co-host, is on the panel. What's good, man?
Peace and blessings to the family. How y'all doing this afternoon?
We can't
hey,
complain,
man, we
man.
kicking it, man.
Starting off this new year right, man.
Happy New Year's to y'all, gentlemen.
Happy New Year's to you as well. Happy New Year's
Happy
to
New Year's,
everyone.
Coach.
Happy New Year's to you, JB.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Yeah, but while you was gone or not on yet, we discussed about the two games already. The first game was Texas and Arizona State. Texas beat Arizona State 38-31 in overtime.
That ended up being a
Um,
better game than I thought it would be.
exactly what I just said. Do you want to go in depth of your thoughts on that game?
No, I'm not gonna lie. Just I thought Texas was gonna smack them, and Arizona State ended up being better than they thought I would be. I mean, ended up playing better than I thought they would play. We was here at my mom's crib for New Year's, and I was playing on a checkerboard with my cousin. That's why I couldn't give it my full undivided attention. But it still ended up being a better game than I thought it would be. And in terms of Penn State and excuse me, in terms of Penn State, I ain't gonna lie, they did a good job shutting down Genty. They loaded up the box. Like JB was saying, in many instances, he'll make the first, maybe even second defender miss. But they just kept coming at him in waves, kept hitting him in the mouth. He put the ball on the ground a couple times. That's one thing my coaches always hated was running backs putting the ball on the ground. That was like a huge no-no where I'm from. And, Penn State definitely made it a point to shut him down. And, they had success because of it. So, that's my thoughts on those two games. And shout out to my brother, Big Joe Tom. What's up with you, Big Joe?
Big Joe was good, man.
What's good to the family? What's going on with y'all? Happy New Year's, peace and prosperity, and all that good stuff. You feel
And
me?
Happy New Year to you, Big Joe.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Happy New Year, brother. And
welcome to the 2025 year, Big Joe.
Oh man, I was in 2025 early December, plotting and planning, getting ready for next year. So I mentally was already here. You feel me?
yes,
I
sir.
feel you, man.
Hey, we were just chopping it up about two games so far, uh,
hmm
Texas and Arizona State. First, what was your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I knew that was gonna be a tough game. I've been watching Arizona State all year, and they're one of those very coached hard nosed teams, that take after most teams take after their coach, but the team took after Scatterboo. You know what I mean? They don't quit. A lot of folks feel like Texas should have dog walked them because, they're in the SEC and, they're
I
high
was one of
flying
them.
team.
Yeah.
So some games have been putting up 50 some points. You got Archie Manning's cousin or whatever nephew, he out there doing black folk dances and wearing jewelry and all that kind of stuff. So they've been feeling themselves all year. But
Right.
shout out to Arizona State. It was a hard fought game. Scatterboo was the reason why ASU was in there. Texas came out to an
Yes.
early start, but as I predicted, I'm not a big fan of Ewers. Ewers to me is just another Colt McCoy, and he's also another Chase Daniels, a
Damn.
great and
Damn.
okay college quarterback. But when he goes to the league, come on, sit down here, hold this clipboard, and you collect $5 million a year, which ain't nothing wrong with that either. You
Boy,
know what I
y'all,
mean? But he's not gonna, but he's not a game changer, and he's not gonna get you over the hump.
right.
So shout out to the Texas defense at the end who got the interception because they was getting rotisserie chicken all game too.
Barbecue
So
chicken.
but regarding Scatterboo, yeah, I was wanting to see what he was going to do, but he's definitely a dog. He threw a touchdown, ran for a touchdown, 2-point conversion. He the reason why they were in the game. So ASU had nothing to hang to hold their head down for, but Scatterboo is going to the NFL, so be interesting to see how big of a dip ASU will be. So but no, shout out to Texas. A win is a win, regardless how you do it. But the next game is gonna let us know what it is, and I ain't got too much faith in them.
And real quick, Joe, before you go into the next game, I was telling Jared before y'all two came on, Joe and Coach. I was very surprised of Arizona State D line because Texas got
Yeah.
two good running backs, Blue
Mm.
and I forget another dude name, and they didn't allow them two dudes to get nothing.
No.
So
Yeah. Blue
so I'm
ain't
looking
do that.
at
I was surprised. Yeah, Blue ain't do too much. So like you said, credit to their D line and the linebackers for filling the gaps for sure.
Yeah.
oh yeah, they were flying around, and I was looking at Texas O line like, what's going on, y'all? Supposed to be big SEC. What's going on?
Hey, the SEC ain't been looking like the SEC all year, but that's a different conversation.
Mm,
Yes,
yeah.
Lord.
Yes, Lord.
It's a little. It's hard to be the SEC when a lot of your talent is going to all the other schools and playing time right away. You ain't got to wait 2 or 3 years to start. Shit, I can start right now at SMU. I can start right now at Colorado. I can start right now at Florida State. Hey.
Facts. And your boy, y'all giving y'all some analogies, boy. Anthony Bolton said, "I hope Genty does well in the NFL. He reminds me of Andre Williams from Boston College." Oh, I don't know. That's a compliment. If you're just talking about just the college, yeah. Andre Williams was the beast out of Boston College. Everybody thought he gonna be another. I wouldn't say Adrian Peterson, but of that ilk. Of
He's
that
more
ilk.
like he more like Monty Ball to me. So, but that
Or at least
Monty Ball.
Hamid Bradshaw.
Yeah.
Hamid
Either one.
Bradshaw, at least. But
But I think Monty Paul is an excellent example Big Joe gave. And that was an excellent example of myself.
yeah, it was. But I hear you, Memphis man. I hear you. I hope he makes it. I hope he makes it farther than Andre Williams, if anything. He has the skill to. Salute to the sister. Ravens Talk with Yolanda. Hi, everyone. Man, she's killing the game as far as football. And if you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, please go support her. She's already got her numbers up as far as subscribers. Continue to support the sister, man.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the flock.
Shout out to the flock.
And what was the second game when we talked about, brother?
He said you trying to move on. Okay.
Oh no, my bad. No, I know you want me to talk about 2 games. I forgot the second game. That's all. We stay right here. We keep cooking.
No. Like
You
because
talk about Penn State and Boise.
Oh, okay.
of course, yeah. But that Andre Williams thing, that I wanted to stay right there because that Andre Williams, I ain't heard that name in years.
Facts.
Because he was, y'all remember, he was a beast coming out of Boston College. Everybody thought he gonna be another not like Adrian Peterson, but he was getting praise of that ilk. He wasn't the same running back, but the same.
Well, you also can say I see a little resemblance of Trent Richardson. Trent Richardson was because Genty's kind of he's kind of a swole guy. He's a swole guy. Some running backs, they're a little smooth like a Le'Veon Bell or or like a Lindale White or whatever. But no, he's kind of swole. So he runs powerful. He looks
You
very,
know
looks
exactly
very
what I'm
strong when
talking
he
about.
runs.
Them
Huh?
swole running. You know
Yeah,
exactly what
yeah,
I'm talking about, Big
yeah,
Joe.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
why I
So
go.
So
so so what y'all saying? He can run hard, but he ain't got no vision. That's what Trent
I'm not
Richardson was.
well. I'm not saying that, but I just know that he's a good, powerful back with some speed. It just be interesting to see how it translates to the NFL. Because Monte Ball didn't translate well, neither did Trent Richardson. You know what I mean? So
That's
it'll
true.
be interesting. It'll be interesting to see. But Gentry is definitely a dog. Yeah, I definitely believe he should be a first round pick. But to me, I see Monte Ball and I see Trent Richardson.
That's true.
I love the comparison.
Yeah, I do too, man. J6. What's up? Carolina Panther fan in the building. What's up, brother?
Hey, shout out to Bryce Young, man. Bryce Young look like he actually can play quarterback in the league, man. And he balling.
But moving on. And Bryce Young is balling. Not trying to destroy your point, but Penn State
Mm.
and Boise State game. Even though we touched on Genty as far as the game overall, starting with Coach, what did you think on that game?
You cut out for a minute. Say that again, bro.
I was saying the Penn State versus Boise game.
Uh-huh.
What was your thoughts?
Oh yeah, we touched on it in terms of I like how Penn State loaded up the box and they shut Gente down. Gente put the ball on the ground a couple of times, which was always a huge no-no on all the teams I played on. And I think overall, I think defensively, I think Penn State did an excellent job. And offensively, I think they did enough to get the dub,
Okay. And the reason why I'm going to y'all too, because me and JB already cooked on the first two games, and Big Joe, what was your thoughts on the Penn State and Boise game?
Yeah, I believe it was a phenomenal game. You know, even Boise State was ranked third in the nation, and Penn State was sixth. I wanted to see, how Boise State, who plays now, a lot of folks don't like saying this, but what conference you play in matters. Boise State plays the likes of Hawaii, San Jose State, Utah State, or whatnot. So it'll be interesting to see how that level of competition would translate playing against a powerhouse school like Penn State. Now, Penn State hasn't been a dominant team in a long time, but they play good football year in and year out. So for Penn State to win, they'll have to shut down Genty because Genty is pretty much their offense. And we're going to see, we're going to shut down Genty. We're going to make this quarterback throw the ball. And that's pretty much what they did. It took Genty 30 plus carries for him to get over 100 yards. So that's a lot. He was 30 for 104 and no touchdowns. He averaged 3.5 yards a carry. You know what I mean? And then the quarterback was 23 or 35, 304, one touchdown and threw three interceptions. You know what I mean? So those three interceptions turned the points for Penn State, which if you can turn turnovers into points, it's kind of hard to come back, and win the game. So Penn State loaded the box and shut down Boise State. They play hard-nosed football. The offense started clicking at the right time. They were struggling a little bit earlier this year, but because Penn State is the two-loss team. But shout out to Penn State, showing them, this ain't the Mountain West Conference. We ain't San Jose State. We ain't Hawaii. We are,
All right.
we are Penn State. Shout out to Boise State. They always gonna come. They always gonna have a good. They always gonna have a good team coming out that conference. They always gonna have a good team coming out that conference, so they always gonna look good. But it's always interesting to see how you play against, as we say, real competition. Shout out to them for having a good year, and I believe Genty, like I said, will be a first round pick. But Penn State moves on.
Don't forget them two fumbles, Big Joe. Two fumbles were caused.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And you said it. I didn't want, that was your thunder. I'm gonna let you hold on to it. But yeah, I mean, you get smacked in your mouth, you drop the ball twice. What do you think the NFL gonna do? Go ahead, JB.
I mean, 5 turnovers
Yeah.
in a game ain't a two this big,
Yeah, man. Like
Oh yeah,
me and
for sure.
Coach was saying at the beginning of the. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Tom. No,
No.
we
I'm just
just
saying.
bringing
No.
it.
I'm just saying that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, those two fumbles were critical. We didn't really fumble pretty much all year, but This is better level of competition. So if you fumble the ball twice against Penn State, imagine when you go to a league when they really, with a peanut Tillman punch is pretty much coached by every team. So hopefully,
Mm.
in his prep to go to the league, hopefully he works on ball security because the last game, you say you're a Heisman hopeful, you're the best run back in the league, but in your last game, you're 30 for 105, no touchdowns and 2 fumbles. Eh, you know, but go ahead.
Yeah, so like, and I think we were saying this in the chat, and me and Coach were saying it before you came. So he was used to, in the conference he was playing, making one or two guys miss and then running the daylight. Penn State, when he made that first and second guy miss, Penn State was swarming, and they were just like you said, they were hitting him in the mouth. And he fumbled because he wasn't used to that third or fourth guy coming from behind like that.
And like he said, like Big Joe said, we ain't San Jose State, we ain't New Mexico or New Mexico State, we ain't none of that. So yeah, there's a big difference in talent. But moving on now, this was a surprise to me. I thought it was gonna be closer. Ohio State got their revenge against Oregon, putting them in a place 41-21. And JB, yeah, and I'm not sure with you, who you picked, Big Joe, but me and Coach picked Oregon. We thought Oregon was gonna beat them again, but JB was the only one that was confident Ohio State was gonna get back. But since you was right, JB, going with you, what was your opinion on this game?
It wasn't just. I mean, the brothers' last couple of weeks. I mean, the shows from the 2 weeks ago. I made some very good points because Oregon is very explosive. They got the dogs. I just think anybody who played football before, and I think that just looking at it now, Ohio State was more battles tested. Facing the Michigan, even though Michigan had a bad year, that rivalry is still there, and it is it makes you game bred. Them facing some of the competition they faced, in the year. I think Howard and they had one good receiver. Uh, what's his name? From Ohio State that just kept getting open at will.
Oh, the freshman,
And
Jeremiah Smith.
yes, Jeremiah Smith was roasting them. And I just had a feeling that Ohio State was going to be more prepared than Oregon. This game, I didn't expected it to be a blowout. I'll be lying if I said it was going to be a blowout. I just thought that Ohio State was going to be more prepared, and they was way more prepared. They what these young boys to say now, B2A, BTA, built to ass. So that's what happened. So
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
every time somebody mentioned it, I think about one of our middle school games this year. The head coach at the end of the game, he called timeout with like a few minutes left because he was going on a trip to Talladega. And as soon as he left, that's all they talking about, BTA, BTA. I'm like, hey, bro, y'all calm down with the goddamn on BTA. They BTA from the stadium all the way back to the school. I'm like, God, dog.
Yeah. Letting it known. Ass whooping.
Yeah.
But what were your thoughts on the game since you gave your take on BTA?
I'm not gonna lie, I was surprised that, I was surprised Ohio State came out and punched Oregon in them out right away. They jumped on them, and they got out to a huge lead. And me and my cousin, we sitting at the checkerboard playing, and me and the other cousin, he is more conservative from a coaching standpoint. I'm more aggressive. This how bad Ohio State was beating up on Oregon. We was debating whether Ohio State, whether Oregon should take the 3 points or not or go for the touchdown. I'm like, dude, you getting your head kicked in. Them damn 3 points ain't gonna do you nothing. And he was like,
Right.
he was like, points, getting points is better than not getting points at all. So he was like, I get the 3 points and try to get some momentum. I'm like, damn them 3 points. You need 8. And I'm not gonna lie, Oregon got all 8 of them, but in the grand scheme of things, it really didn't do them nothing. Because they only got about half of, maybe a point more than half of what Ohio State had. So at the end of the day, I was shocked that Ohio State just jumped on them and just bludgeoned them right away. I thought, Oregon's high-powered, high-flying offense, was going to be a problem. But, it goes to show you on this level, it's hard to beat a team twice. When you got teams operating on this level,
That's true. That's true. And that's one of the things that JB mentioned in his prediction. He didn't believe that Oregon was going to beat Ohio State twice. Big Joe, what was your thoughts on this game?
You know, I think there's one of my favorite songs is called "End of the Road." So for Oregon, the road for you, brother. You know what I mean? So yeah, this was a phenomenal game. This was a highly anticipated game. A lot of folks said it was the game of the week. Oregon, they've been cooking with grease all year. They were undefeated. They were number one ranked team for a long time. And a lot of people had questions about Ohio State after the Michigan game. A lot of folks say, man, you got $20 million in NIL money. You can't even beat Michigan? Man, what are we doing? You know what I mean? So, but this everybody was coming for the coach's head. He should be fired. What is this or whatnot? But being a good coach determines if you can develop players and if your players believe in you and rally around you. Like y'all said
Right.
earlier, Oregon beat Ohio State earlier, 32-31. It was a close game. But this time, Ohio State didn't leave no stone unturned. I picked Ohio State to win the game because I saw what they did the week before to Tennessee, 42-17. And Tennessee ain't no sorry team. You know what I mean? That's what we say, an SEC team. And Ohio State was bombs over Baghdad. They were letting them go. You dig what I'm saying? So, Ohio State was peaking at the right time, just like the Ravens are right now. Just like some other NFL teams. It's all about where you're peaking. And then a lot of folks ain't taking account of how all these solidified teams like Oregon and Boise State, they all had pretty much a month to wait to play the game. It's hard to be revved up and then you got to chill out for a month and you do workouts and do scrimmages, but scrimmages cannot emulate game speed. And Lord had mercy, they could not emulate the speed of Ohio State's wide receivers. See what I'm saying? Number 4, my man, Jeremiah Smith, 7 for 187 for 2 touchdowns. The longest one was 45 yards. And then my man, Trayvon Henderson, 8 for 94 and 2 touchdowns. That a total of 181 yards rushing and 319 yards passing. You dig what I'm saying? So they came to play. 8 sacks. Had a couple turnovers. They came to play. Ohio State was like, nah, we ain't gonna make this close this time. And Oregon just wasn't ready to play. Could have been all that time they had, maybe. Could just be that Ohio State had their number. Who knows? But either way, Oregon didn't show up. And you know what we say when teams don't show up? You know how everybody said it's Deion's fault when they got destroyed? They last game, we say, well, they weren't ready to play. Well, that's on coaching. Well, Oregon wasn't ready to play, so whose fault was that? It's on coaching. Like I said, this is the same coach. You said he don't play for clicks and likes, but have cameras in the locker room. Well, I didn't see no cameras in the locker room at halftime, and I sure didn't hear no after-game speech. I really wanted to hear that. What do you tell your team after you didn't got belt their ass for 60 minutes? I want to hear your 1, 2, 3 Cancun speech, but I didn't hear it because you say you don't do it for clicks and likes and views and whatnot, But anyway, shout out to Ohio State. This is the team that I feel like is going to win. the national championship. As long as they keep playing like this, right now the quarterback has a high level of confidence. He trusts his wide receivers, and the defense is clicking. This looks like a national championship team out of all the teams I see when it comes to the Texas and the Penn States or whatnot. To me, this is the team that I feel like should win a national championship as long as they keep playing like this. Shout out to OSU and you got to go.
Facts. Facts. Autism boy. All I'm going to say is remember what I said. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Don't be surprised if you see yourself on timeout, and that's what love, brother. '86 Ghosts in the building. All right, and I'm saying because I know you can comprehend, man. That's all I'm saying. I know you can comprehend and understand what I'm saying. All right. But Big Joe, you were preaching, man. You were definitely preaching. And then lastly, Notre Dame versus Georgia. Not gonna lie, no cap. I thought Georgia was gonna beat the crap out of Notre Dame. This is probably the biggest crow that I had to eat during the playoffs so far. Is this game right here. I was wrong as I don't know what. I thought Notre Dame was going to get the brakes beat off of them. No, that defense is as good as their stats are. And Georgia played right into it. And Big Red said, "What's up, Big Red?" He said, "Georgia really let me down."
Man, you gotta remember that Georgia ain't really had a quarterback, man. And since I said something, I'll go first. Georgia, man, Beck went down, so they had the backup in. He not there yet. He may be there next year. He can't read defenses like that yet, especially Notre Dame defense. Notre Dame didn't let them throw or run. And then, Notre Dame got Leonard using his legs now. They're running the ball. Riley Leonard running using his legs now. So they're more dangerous in the option game. Notre Dame looks like they can make a little noise. Am I picking them to win at all? Anything like that, or against Penn State? No. However, I don't trust Penn State quarterback neither. But as far as the Georgia game, it was a good win for Notre Dame. But I'm not gonna give them like the merit of them winning at all because Carson, their quarterback was out, and the quarterback, even though their quarterback wasn't playing all that great this year, he was more of good at managing the game than the backup was. Obviously, because they only scored 10 points.
Yo, let me tell you this, JB. You got a good point. We understand that Carson Beck was not playing; he was hurt. But Stockton, for him being stuck in there, he had a decent game. But what I was impressed about the Notre Dame defense. Look at Etienne's numbers. Look at Frazier's numbers. So the D line, all of them hurt too in Georgia. The linebackers too.
Nope. No excuse. I'm just saying, if you know Gunnar Stockton, I think his name.
Yeah, ultimately the offensive line for Georgia. They wasn't Etienne and Frazier and Smith, like they wasn't making holes. They was not making holes or making room for the running backs, especially for Etienne. So that's what I was impressed with. Notre Dame defensive line dominated the trenches. Yes, sir, Big Joe. And look what Anthony Bolton said. kind of glad that Oregon lost. I don't like their coach at all. He stayed in the camera all the time. He has just as many sound bites and clips as Prime, but I'm not keeping count though. Hey, wasn't you and Big Joe talking about that in the chat? That Coach Dan
Yep.
Lanning.
Yep, he had all that smoke for Coach Prime and had all them clips and what did he say, Joe? Last year, we the game is went on the field, not on
No,
Yeah,
no,
social
no.
media.
I'm gonna tell you his
yeah, yeah.
exact
Exactly.
words. They're fighting for clicks. We're fighting for wins. That's the exact
Yeah. So
words.
now that you got your ass full, I want to hear that Custer's last stand speech or that
Hmm.
the Alamo last stand speech, or you about to lose. What's that speech to your truth now?
Yeah, I ain't seen no for all y'all who don't know. So, for example, when Oregon played Michigan, the Oregon coach had the cameras in the locker room pregame locker room speech. He said, "Y'all wait till we get to the fourth quarter. Remember this moment. I'm gonna pull y'all out in the middle of the field in the fourth quarter. I'm gonna point. We're gonna see all the Michigan fans leaving, and we're gonna wave at them." That's literally what he said pregame when he played against Michigan. And then what happened? Obviously, Oregon smacked Michigan the fourth quarter. The coach pulled his team out middle of the field and he pointed to the stand and saw all the Michigan fans leaving. But listen, the same coach who says he don't do it for clicks and views, the same coach who says he don't do it for camera, he does it because we're here to win football games. Well, it look like you trying to be like Coach Prime too. You know what I mean? So just like Coach Prime, you at home as well. So enjoy your vacation.
That-
Facts.
and since you were speaking on Coach Dan Lanning, what's your thoughts on the game Notre Dame and Georgia? What was your thoughts, Big Joe?
Um, to be honest, I thought Notre Dame was going to win that game.
Really?
I know. Yeah, this
Okay.
is my reason. This was my reasoning why. Like we always, the SEC wasn't SEC in this year. The powerhouse schools like Alabama and Georgia. When you hear that name, you think of strong O line, strong D line, strong running game. That's what you think about.
Exactly.
Both of those teams didn't have that this year. They didn't. There's a lot of Georgia players and Alabama players who transferred this year. I know. Hell, Colorado got at least two or three Alabama transfers in the portal. So that greatness just wasn't there this year. And we saw that the starting quarterback Beck, some games he threw three interceptions, and they barely won some games. In some games they turn up and they'll beat teams like against Tennessee, like Georgia smacked Tennessee. But I knew when they had the second string in there, I just knew they had no chance. I just know the second string guy. And it's not like in the NFL, where the second string guy may get some reps. In college, that don't happen. First, you only got so much time in practice. You're regulated to, I think, maybe 90 minutes or so. You got to get through your periods, and the ones is always going to get all the reps, especially now when it's playoff time. So I just knew that he wasn't going to be inexperienced, and wasn't going to be ready. And then Notre Dame was another one of those teams that was peaking at the right time. When Notre Dame lost to NIU, everybody was coming for Freeman's head saying he should be fired and this is ridiculous and this is whatever. But like I always say, coaching is about developing and having your players buy into your system. The players saw that they didn't come prepared to play. The coaches realized that they didn't have the players came to play, and they made adjustments and changes. Playing football is about adjustments and changes on the fly and during the season. And so when Notre Dame did that, they changed their season around. He has the team playing with confidence. The defense was flying on the field and smacking Georgia in the mouth. They pretty much looked more like Georgia than Georgia did.
Yep.
So
They did.
no, Notre Dame ran the ball. It was still the stat show. It was 23-10. But a lot of folks saw that Georgia just didn't have it. Even though when it was close and Georgia defense was still holding up Notre Dame, the offense just couldn't score. No matter what team you have, if you don't have a quarterback, you're just not going to win. So I just knew Notre Dame was going to win this game just based off the quarterback alone. But the team was more physical and they showed up. So shout out to Notre Dame, shout out to Coach Freeman. He definitely deserves this. Because he's a good coach and a great guy. So To me, he's more of a role model coach than the Oregon coach is. But I digress.
Yeah, yeah. Good point. Good point. Yeah, autism boy, I appreciate it, but don't be pestering my viewers to subscribe to your channel. Which you're more than welcome to do that. But like I told you before multiple times, don't do that. That's annoying. Uh, Coach, what did you think about the game?
Well, my perspective is going to be a little bit different. I'm a kind of my take is going to be a little bit different. First and foremost, I want give my sympathy, my condolences, to all those individuals that were impacted by the terror attack in New
Yes,
Orleans.
yes,
Because
yes, sir.
where I currently am, the Caesar Superdome is about 73 minutes from where I am, and it's about 58 miles away. I have a lot of family members that live in New Orleans that's from New Orleans. And, I'm not saying it impacted the game in any way, shape, form, or fashion, but, you know, expecting to play one day and then playing the next day, and then on top of that, you know, we don't know how people were impacted from both teams and both schools. I'm not saying had they played, New Year's Day or the day before or whatever, I'm not saying they would have affected or impacted the outcome of the game, but with these type of things, you never really know, and you know, I'm gonna just kind of give you a couple examples from my own personal experience. Like I remember one year, this year I'm an assistant coach, but one of the years I was a head coach, I had a team that was peaking at the right time and clicking on all cylinders, and we were hotter than fish grease. We weren't undefeated, but we were playing well. And had an unfortunate incident at another school. You know, I could say what happened, but I don't want to violate any FERPA or HIPAA laws, so I'm gonna just say they had an incident at another school. So the game was postponed, and we played them like a few weeks later, and it was kind of the end of the season, and whoever won that game was gonna make the playoffs, right? I had 16 players on my team, and they had 44 players on their team, and they were like the next closest school to us, like maybe 7 minutes away, like right around the corner. But even though we close in proximity, in terms of like school culture is completely different. Like, we were like in the hood, and we didn't have as much stakeholder involvement, as much parental support. Whereas them at their particular school, they had all the stakeholder involvement and all the parental support. So we ended up playing a game instead of playing a game on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We ended up playing a game on a Saturday. It was kind of like our de facto homecoming, but in all actuality, it was like a homecoming game for them. And the score really didn't indicate like how close the game was. They ended up beating us 20-0. But like moving the game from the original date to the day we ended up playing, like it changed the outcome of the game. And not only that, but a couple of players that were supposed to play didn't end up playing when we actually played them. So I'm not saying that it's the same situation, the same circumstances, but playing a game like a day later or maybe even a few weeks later makes a difference. And then they had another situation where this team that I was coaching like the year prior, I ended up going to another school. The team that beat us the year prior, I was helping them out, right? And basically what the coach was saying was, instead of playing like, because usually when in middle school, when the girls and the boys play, the girls play first and the boys play second. But for whatever reason, they flip-flopped the games. And the boys didn't know like it was getting ready to be tip-off. And they played like trash, and the team that I coached the year before ended up upsetting the team that I was helping, football. So those are like two examples of when you move kickoff or you tip off or you move a game from this day to another day, or this time to another time, or whatever the case may be, sometimes that can kind of, affect things. Even though I know these are college players, we don't know if, they might have had family members or friends that might have been, that were impacted by the terror attack. So at the end of the day, I'm not saying under normal circumstances Georgia would have beat Notre Dame in that
Right.
situation, but I'm just saying we don't know how, everything that transpired, how it impacted the outcome of the game.
Good point. Good point. You say it all the time. Like the MEAC has like in the past years had big has a huge example. Not a huge example. A huge
Competitive advantage,
basically competitive advantage because they
yeah,
have that what
the extra
full
week
week
off.
extra
Yeah.
week off versus
Uh-huh.
the SWAC team that wins the SWAC, the Celebration Bowl. They have less than that.
Yeah, they got to turn around and play literally the next week.
So yeah, definitely got a point. But in this case, I think they just got their ass whooped. But
No,
not.
I mean, I'm not denying that, but I'm saying in some instances, you know, playing a game like a day later. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I've coached teams where if we'd have played the game a day earlier, a day later, we were still gonna get our head kicked in. And I understand that, and I think this could be the same in this instance here. But I'm saying we don't know how, that tragic event impacted the outcome of that game.
Okay, I feel you. I feel you. Jada6 says Zachariah Branch is coming to Georgia next season. USC receiver. Hey, Big Joe, that's your down your alley. What you think about Zachariah Branch and his brother? Is going to they're going from USC Trojans to Georgia Bulldogs.
I mean, I'm not really surprised. A lot of players have decommitted and jumped ship.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. It's happening right now.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of there's a hell the one of the quarterbacks who's supposed to go to USC decommitted and went to Colorado. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of folks who leave in USC. You know what I mean? So it's not surprised at all. So Georgia definitely they need some reinforcements. So that's definitely a good look for them. But interesting to see how USC gonna do next year because they definitely struggle.
Yeah, and just to kind of piggyback off what Big Joe was saying, you New Year's Day we was talking about how this quarterback that's supposed to be like number one quarterback in the nation, he decommitted from LSU. Supposedly LSU gonna give him like $7 million in NIL money. He decommitted, and he is from the state of Michigan. He committed to Michigan. And Michigan is gonna give him $10 million in NIL money. And I'm like, bro, that's just crazy.
Yeah, yeah. That's this NIL situations is crazy for a lot of players, but hey, I love it though in a way. Not saying there's not no cons to it, but I love it. These young boys getting money in their pocket.
Oh, and I'm letting you know now, bro. Hey, we gotta have a show on that. Show
Yeah,
just on the NIL aspect of it and how like it changed like the landscape of college football and just recruiting in general.
absolutely, absolutely. I'm down. I'm down. Definitely down. But to wrap everything up, we're gonna give our predictions for the next two games coming up on January 10th. Uh, well, excuse me. One, the Penn State and Notre Dame game is January 9th at 7:30 Eastern, and the Texas and Ohio State is on the next day, January 10th at 7:30 Eastern as well. So, starting with you, JB, who do you got for Penn State and Notre Dame?
I got Notre Dame. I think right now, out of the two quarterbacks, I think Riley Leonard is playing a little bit better. Um, to be honest with you, if Boise would have had better quarterback play, a little bit better quarterback play, I'd probably still be in the game. They had a good chance of winning that game. That
Mm,
game was closer than the score uh, let off because kind of Boise State defense kind of showed up in a little bit in the first half and a little bit in the second half where they get had opportunities to make the games closer.
but they kept
Like
the
I said, I'm not.
Penn State's kept
Uh
leaning
huh.
on Allen and Singleton, like you said. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Number 10 and number 13, correct.
Mhm.
And I think right now Notre Dame has found their identity um, from that Northern Illinois loss where they tried to make Riley Leonard a pocket quarterback and spanked all to be damned. Now I think they're utilized him. He is a option, scrambling quarterback. He can make the throws, but he's really he's a threat with his legs.
He's an option read
Um,
quarterback. Yeah.
yes.
RPO
So I
quarterback.
think Notre Dame has been taking this identity um, throughout the season till now, and I think that Notre Dame, I'm not Notre Dame, but Penn State tries to lean on their quarterback, and he's not that good. And I see myself watching him throwing a couple of picks to Notre Dame to finish.
Mm. I actually picked Penn State to win this game, actually, but I do see where they can lean on their running backs because in my opinion, the their Penn State wide receivers is okay, but their tight end Tyler Warren is a beast. But that Notre Dame defense be coming to play, so I can easily see them shutting down. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I can actually see them shutting down the running game, and where Penn State has to go somewhere else and rely on their wide receivers.
Yep, just
All
like
right.
they did Georgia.
Yeah,
Georgia got some good running backs too.
yeah, they do. But good point, JB. Coach, who do you got for Penn State and Notre Dame?
Of course, it's not the old days when you had Lou Holtz against Joe Paterno. But even with that being said, I think for this particular game, watching the way they played the previous game, each one of them, I think they kind of mirror each other, to be truthful, in my personal opinion. So it's going to be interesting to see who wins the battle line of scrimmage up front on both sides of the ball. I think it's going to be like a hard fought type game. But I think whoever win the trench is going to win the game, and I'm going with Notre Dame.
Okay, okay. Big Joe, I'm coming to you. Who you got? Penn State versus Notre Dame.
Yeah, I agree with Coach that both these teams marry each other, and to me, they're both kind of equal. They're both teams that had some growing pains to go through. Penn State hasn't been known to get over the hump. They're always a top 10, top 12 team, but they just can't seem to get over the hump. And Notre Dame's kind of the same way. And we also have two black coaches. The first time in college history, we got two black coaches. In the playoffs, and then one of them is going to be a national championship game. I know Franklin says he wants to be the first black head coach to a national championship. You know, but to me, I feel like Notre Dame has a stronger defense. Right now, to me, I feel like they're playing with a little more tenacity than Penn State. And I think Penn State's going to do what Penn State's going to do is, they're going to be front runners. So I think Freeman has the team ready to play. They're very inspired. I mean, Franklin has Penn State ready to go as well, but I just think that Notre Dame's defense is what's going to help them get over the hump.
Okay, okay. I still pick Penn State, but you're making me want to change my pick. But I'm willing to eat crow. I'm still I'm still going Penn State on this one. Um. Okay. All right. Let's go with the next game. Final game. Uh, JB, going back to you, man. Who you got? Texas, Ohio, or Ohio State?
Ohio State gonna dog curve stomp Texas.
You think so?
I don't trust Quinn Ewers, man. I think he gonna throw about 3, 4 picks to my Ohio State defenders, and you're not gonna sit there and say how they play Dylan Gabriel, bro.
Mm-hmm.
They have to run the ball. So Blue and the other running back for Texas, he's pretty good too. If they don't get off, if they don't find holes, open up the passing game, and if they have to be one dimensional, and Quinn Ewers think he's from ain't he from South Lake Carroll or West Lake, one of them schools
He went
out
to
here in
South Lake Carroll.
Texas.
Yeah, he went to South Lake
If
Carroll.
he if they drop Quinn Ewers back like he's from in South Lake Carroll in Texas, and you think he that dude, they gonna make him throw picks.
Okay, okay. Coach, going to you. Who you got? Texas or Ohio State?
I think this might be a bit of an upset type pick. I'm going with Texas.
Oh, explain that one.
Well, I mean, sometimes in these type of games, that's one thing I don't know if I mentioned. But back in the gap, when before you really had a playoff, and when you just would have a BCS national championship game, when the team been off for a whole month, and they would constantly hear, "Hey, this team better than you. This team better than you," and the team that's the favorite, they start to believe they're on hype. They start to read the press clippings, and they're like, you know what, we're gonna beat this team. And then guess what? When they get out there, whether it's New Year's Day or the week after, whatever, they get punched in the mouth. I'm not saying that's gonna be the exact scenario for this particular game, but I think based on what they did, this past week, I think they're just gonna be feeling themselves, and I think they might get a little overconfident, and I think they're gonna get upset. So I know a lot of people don't believe Texas is gonna get the job done, but I think Texas is gonna pull upset me myself.
Yo, Jared, you on mute?
Yeah, I was talking the whole time on mute. I was saying Jay the 6 said it's going to come down to Will Howard and Ewers, but I got Texas, okay? And also some boy said he got Texas as well. So okay. Um, Big Joe, who you got? Texas or Ohio State?
Hmm. I'm going with Ohio State, and this is the reason. This is the
I
reason why.
agree.
I do not trust Texas cornerbacks to go against Ohio State wide receivers.
Especially Jeremiah
How
Smith.
Howard gonna throw it up, and Smith gonna catch it. Do
Period.
do we do we think that the Texas cornerbacks are better than the Oregon cornerbacks? I don't really think so. Oregon was supposed to be considered a better team. Hell, Texas went life and death with Arizona State. Do we think Arizona State was better than Ohio State or
Hell,
Oregon? So and literally Texas pretty much lost to literally a one-man team in Scatterboo. Texas is a phenomenal team, but like I said, I'm not a big fan of yours. Yours hasn't shown me that in pressure situations you're better to get the job done. Now, Ohio State again lost to Michigan early, has some struggle points, but the last two games they played, they look like the Ohio State that they should have been looking all season. And I just don't believe in Ewers. And if Blue can't run the ball, you sure can't depend on Ewers to get y'all to a victory. So that's the reason why. If Ewers was that dude, he wouldn't be looking at a $6 million offer from other schools, and Texas wouldn't be pushing him out for the sake of Manning, Archie Manning. So I'm gonna say Ohio State for the sake of their defense is playing really good right now, and I just don't trust Texas cornerbacks to cover, you know, the Ohio State wide receivers. So I got Ohio State. Are they gonna curb stomp them? Not sure, but I think they're gonna have a win though.
Big Reg, and good point. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Um, I'm going with Big Reg said, host of Big Boy Talk. I'm going with Texas because of their D line. I think they generate the pressure and don't allow Howard to just toss the ball up. It depends if they come off and come to play.
Uh, I didn't see the D line against Arizona State. I saw
Me,
Scatterboo having a
me
field
neither.
day. So
They
I
got to
mean,
come to play. I can
what was
see
that
that
what was that
happening.
D line at? Yeah,
I can see that happening, but I didn't see it against
sound
Arizona
good.
State. Sound good.
Sound good.
Sound good. Uh, Jadai Barron is going to be everywhere. Also, Mukabu I know I butchered his name, can cause turnovers as well. It's not going to be that sweet for Smith this time. I hear you, but Jeremiah Smith ain't nothing to play with, man.
Sound good.
Sound good. But hey, we could be wrong as hell. We'll be back next week to eat crow. It's all good. Hey, that's
I just know
football.
I know what I saw the other day. So I saw a Texas team that look like they're ready to lose. You know what I mean?
We'll be
So you
here
better
next Sunday, y'all.
you know
Y'all stay tuned.
so we're gonna see.
We gonna see.
And
Exactly.
technically, if we're gonna be, if we're gonna be picky, they kind of should have lost if the refs would have called that unnecessary contact hit at the end of the game. But hey, this is the refs we got now. So
Okay. All right.
They still better than SWAC officials though. So hey,
You ain't lying.
I hear you.
Hey, but okay, that's it for the 2025 National Championship playoffs, man. We will, like I said, we will be back next Sunday to go over the conclusion of these the two games that we have left. But moving on, will Deshaun Jackson be a good fit as a head coach? Those who don't know, or those who've been under a rock, former Pro Bowl speedster from California, Deshaun Jackson, is now the head coach of Delaware State, HBCU. My question is, starting with you, JB, will he be a good fit?
My question, y'all brothers need to help me with this. Has he had coaching experience before? Is this a knee jerk? I mean, I'm happy he got the coaching job. Don't get me
Here's
wrong.
what I think is happening. The Deion effect is still going on. So we got Mike Vick
and Norfolk State.
at Norfolk State. We've had Eddie George at Tennessee State for a couple of years now. We have old man Belichick coming.
Chris Dishman.
Chris Dishman at Texas Southern.
Because in all actuality, certain portion of the board wanted Fred McNair, who was at Southern now, the Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. Another portion wanted Andre Johnson, but Chris Dishman had coaching experience, unlike Andre Johnson, and they just felt like Fred McNair just a SWAC coach. So Chris Dishman was the best of both worlds, So that's why they ended up going to Chris Dishman. And then, like you said, you got Eddie George at Tennessee State. You had old boy from the Browns who got fired at Grambling last year. What his name is? Hugh Jackson.
Hugh Jackson, yeah.
Yeah, Hugh Jackson at Grambling. Now you got Mike Vick in Norfolk State, Deshaun Jackson at Delaware State. And like Jay Good was pointing out in our group chat, Delaware State is not that far from Philly. So, you know, but in terms of whether he gonna be a good fit or not, like Jared was saying, it's still the Deion Sanders effect, from Jackson State. A lot of these coaches still want a lot of these teams want celebrity coaches. And truthfully speaking, if you're looking at the caliber of players that's committing to Delaware State, I'm not gonna lie.
They can fly.
Hey, he got some 3 and 4 star players. Like, I'm like, dang. So he getting impact players off the rip. Now, from an X's and O's standpoint, how is he gonna do? I don't know, but from an X's and O's standpoint, but in terms of talent, it seems like he's gonna have the talent.
Memphis
No,
man, stupid. He said, "I hope Deshaun Jackson do well. His offense will be doing fly routes and deep slants. That's all they're gonna have."
yeah, hey, go routes and post. That's all day, I guess. But it's definitely gonna be interesting when Norfolk State and Delaware State play each other. I mean, that's probably gonna be definitely a must
Oh
see.
yeah, that's gonna be a MEAC challenge. I'm definitely gonna, man. There's
Man,
definitely gonna be a good game. Hopefully.
I hope the brother do well, man.
Me too.
Man, look, man, y'all put me up on game. Y'all two brothers are the HBCU heads. He apparently think the coach let me know he got juice in the portal and the recruiting. So, hey, we'll see. I just hope he don't do what Coach Prime do and just want to be pass happy and not run the ball. You know,
Well,
that's it. That's all.
well, I talked about this. I'm gonna have another video coming up about this coming up this week. Is with the celebrity coaches, and for people that don't realize, we had a discussion on the show about it. Of course, Big Joe, he was more of a proponent of, hey, these guys, they don't need head coaching experience because they played in the NFL, and that's all they really need. And of course, if you look at the whole Deion Sanders situation, he was able to get like elite level talent, like Travis Hunter, to come to Jackson State. I think the big thing about it is now if these guys have success, are they just gonna use these HBCU jobs as stepping stones to Power 5 and PWI jobs? Because truthfully speaking, whether we talking about Deion Sanders, whether we talking about Deshaun Jackson, Michael Vick, Eddie George, none of these guys went to HBCUs. And truthfully speaking, uh, you know, Eddie George stayed at Tennessee State probably a little bit longer than I thought he would. I thought he might have got a job at a bigger institution by now. But these guys, if it wouldn't be for these HBCU jobs, these guys not gonna get a head coaching job right off the rip at a Power 5 or a PWI. So
Facts.
I just kind of feel like they're using, these HBCU jobs as stepping stone jobs, because you can't, without no coaching experience, you just can't go straight to a Power 5. Because Deshaun Jackson went to Cal, Mike Vick went to Norfolk. Mike Vick went to Virginia Tech. Eddie George went to Ohio State. They couldn't get those jobs without having some experience on the HBCU level first. So that's why I kind of feel like even if you're looking at Deion, he wouldn't have got the job at Colorado without him doing what he did at Jackson State. So that's just my thing. I just don't want the HBCU jobs to be stepping stone jobs to Power 5 jobs.
Hey, I'll be honest with you. I don't mind if it's a stepping stone. I just while he's there, just damn the raggedy
The Ed Reed talker.
or just the higher management that doing shady with the funds and all. We can talk about that later. But and I'm not saying that's going on every HBCU. But
No, see, hold. When you, I, and J Good had a show probably a couple years ago, that was one of the one of our like major talking points for that one particular episode. I think the thing people don't realize is, I'm gonna just kind of use Southern and LSU as an example because those are the two schools, like a big Power 5 and the HBCU. Man, hey, when we talking about misappropriation of funds,
it's a bigger deal at Southern because I talked about this in one of my videos. Like the state of Louisiana owes Southern $1 billion as we speak, and all across the country, HBCUs are owed $12 billion collectively. HBCUs as a total. So it's easy to misappropriate funds at LSU when they're getting all when they're the top school in the state and they get all the damn funding. So if they misappropriate $100,000, it's not a big deal. It's like a drop in the bucket. Whereas if you misappropriated $100,000 at Southern, it's a big damn deal. So, I don't even think that's a fair thing, and that's what Jay Good really took offense with Deion. Part of the reason why he stopped calling him Coach Prime long before we did. It wasn't just the fact that, he had the whole Ryan Garcia situation. It was like, hey, instead of you just taking the Colorado job and just keeping it pushing and just say, hey, this is a job where I'm making more money with a better opportunity on the bigger stage. Instead of him saying that, he was saying, hey, the Lord led me to Jackson State. The Lord led me that. And I won't get these young guys to come home to HBCUs. First chance he went to Colorado. And instead of him just taking the job, he had to tarnish Jackson State and smear their name on the way out the door. I mean, don't get me wrong. We know they got issues, at a lot of HBCUs, but you didn't need to, shine a spotlight on it as heavy as you did to rationalize and justify you taking a job at Colorado. You should have just said, hey, it's a better opportunity and keep it pushing. And then not only that, I felt like him doing all the stuff he did, walking out the door at Jackson State, it led to somebody like Ed Reed just feel so emboldened to where, hey, I need to air out all the grievances I have at Bethune. And that's why, when people was talking about him potentially getting the Alabama and A&M job, I'm like, man, ain't no in the hell. And then, of course, a lot of other people was like, nah, not the way he handled the Bethune situation. And, of course, we see Alabama and they might have been tossing his name around, but they never seriously considered him because they don't want the kind of smoke Ed Reed came with the way he handled that whole fiasco with Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, but my thing is I'm not even really putting no emphasis on. I mentioned the misappropriation of funds because it is a issue, but like you said, that's when it comes to PWIs, that's just a drop in a bucket, and people making a big deal or put emphasis on HBCUs. My whole thing and why I brought it up, even if that's going on, I'm not saying it is, I'm speaking hypothetically, while you there, treat them students right, treat them young men right, and I don't even mind you using it as a stepping stone. Just while you there,
And
treat
open the
them
door
young
for other
men right,
coaches.
and open the door. That's my whole thing. Because that's why I felt kind of, even though I'm still rooting for Deion, I didn't like how he did. Of course, we all don't like him what he did about the Ryan Garcia, what he did to Devin Haney. But going back to football, I didn't like how he exited Jackson State. Didn't like what Ed Reed did. So I agree with you. But my whole thing is, if you're going to get these jobs, that's why, if anything, people talk about Coach Prime, you need to be giving props to coaches like Eddie George and others holding it down. Because Eddie George could have been on Tennessee Titans staff somewhere making bank.
Oh, no. He definitely held it down. But, I mean, we still talking about the after effect of Deion. Let's see
Yeah.
Let's
My thing is just do, even though Deion and not taking away what Deion did, him being at Jackson State was a blessing because look what happened. Caused a domino effect of people like Eddie George coming to school. Now we have Deshaun Jackson and Michael Vick now going at head coach of Norfolk State. That's all Deion. Not taking nothing away from Deion at all. I'm just saying, while you at these HBCUs, do your job.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that was as big an issue as people might think in terms of, him maybe mistreating the players or anything. I don't think that was an issue. But, my biggest issue with him is, the way he handled the situation, in the aftermath in terms of him deciding he wanted to part ways. That was my biggest issue with him, and it kind of, I didn't know but his track record for, shady type stuff, but it kind of is what it is.
And yeah, and just to be more frank, when I say do your job, I mean like move with integrity. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
yeah, nah, that aspect of it is, I kind of felt like he always did speak with forked tongue from the perspective of he said one thing, but his actions was something else.
but yeah,
But
but just
fellas,
getting
we in
back.
the forked tongue. They're in the forked tongue business in college football, man.
That's
We
true.
gotta be real. I mean, look, I, I mean, y'all two. I listen to y'all. Y'all was who I listen to when it comes to HBCU information. You and coach. But as far as you know, Deshaun Jackson, being at Delaware State, I agree with Jared as a standpoint of if you're gonna be there, you're gonna use it as a stepping stone to getting your foot in the door as coaching. Do a job because it may affect. Do your job because it may affect another black coach or
Not just that,
another
the kids.
coach or no that, but a coach with a name. You know what I'm saying? Because we even though Ed Reed, I'm not mad at Ed Reed of what he did because
I
if
am.
shit need to change, shit need to change.
No,
Period.
I am.
But of how he did it, that made it how Ed Reed did it, it may have affected another coach opportunity. Because I
But
hear listen to coach all the time how some HBCU schools how they just recycle the old coach over and over again. So go ahead,
well,
coach.
I mean, that's the crazy thing about it. You brought up a valid point because I was shocked that nobody took on Fred McNair this off season to be a head coach. And by what you just said, he's one of these coaches that probably would have got another couple head coaching jobs in the HBCU realm or just in the SWAC in general. So that's a valid point you brought up. But in terms of uh, my issue with Ed Reed, I didn't have a problem with him having an issue with the way things are done at Bethune. I think the thing he didn't understand is when you're trying to compare the U to Bethune, like, dude, you comparing apples and oranges. Like, I don't know if your expectation was to be what it is at the U, but you were sadly mistaken, in that regard, in terms of thinking, oh yeah, hey, I'm gonna have the same type of facilities, the same type of resources. When I say something, people gonna move the same way. Like, bro, like and then not only that, people talk about it how at some of these HBCUs, like the administration isn't as good as it is at PWIs and Power Fives, but you don't have all of the same things at your disposal. And I mean, even in our group chat, we were talking about how, Jay Good felt like even though Prairie View lost like 66 games in a row at one point, he don't think their situation is as bad as Mississippi Valley because they got what Texas school backing them up back in Prairie View? Oh, Texas A&M.
Texas
Yeah.
A&M.
So he felt like their situation wasn't as bad. And I'm like, I understand he right from that perspective. But even with that being said, I still think they got a handful of high schools in Baton Rouge, 5A schools, that if you put them in the SWAC, I don't think they'll lose 66 games in a row. So that was the thing I was looking at. If they had the right administration at Valley, I think they could get out the situation they in. But, I think when it come to like these type of jobs and NFL players getting them, one of the people in my chat, one of my subscribers, he was like, Coach, the thing you got to look at is 98% of college jobs, whether you a head coach at the HBCU or even at a mid-major PWI, like 98% of those jobs, stepping stone jobs, like to the top of the top jobs, like maybe you won't be at a school like Ohio State or LSU or whatever the case may be. So to that point that he made, somebody like you that played at a PWI, what you think of what he said that 98% of the jobs are like stepping stone type jobs, Joe?
What was your question again, Coach?
No, one of my subscribers was saying that my issue with the NFL players getting HBCU jobs, they're just using them as stepping stones to Power 5 jobs, and he was saying that 98% of college jobs are stepping stone jobs to jobs like Ohio State, LSU. Do you agree with his like train of thought when it comes to that?
Yeah, I got a couple theories on that. Um, for one, I don't think these guys are going to be head coach of HBCU of these HBCU schools unless the HBCU schools are reaching out to them, and asking them, "Do you want to join? Do you want to coach our team?" The same way Eddie George wasn't thinking about coaching at Tennessee State until a Tennessee State alumni who was his client asked him, "Can you coach at Tennessee State?"
Mhm.
Eddie George wasn't even thinking about coaching until somebody asked him. So I don't think these guys are like, well, I can't coach nowhere else, so let me go to these HBCUs because we see a lot of NFL players who play in the NFL and coach in the NFL. Mike Vrabel's the head coach. Antonio Pierce is the head coach. We seen Deuce McAllister on the sidelines. So a lot of players, they do retire and they stay in the NFL because they have NFL connections. What I mean? So they can be coaching in the NFL if they want to, but this is what they chose to do for whatever their personal reasons are. So I don't feel like they can get a job nowhere else except for these HBCUs, but they are being asked to coach there. They are being asked to, lead these men, and they're answering the phone call. So we can't knock them for that. Well, if they think it's not their morality's not pure or whatnot, because most coaches are full of shit, to be honest. As a
Yeah.
former college player and as a briefly my stint in the NFL, no matter what coach it is, these coaches are going to lie to you. Well, if they use Jesus or whatnot, it is what it is. Nick Saban was the NFL coach and left his team and went to college. I mean,
Hey,
I mean, you know what I mean? So it's just,
and blatantly lied, said that the
yeah,
reporter was like,
yeah,
"Hey, you going on a?" He was like, "What you want me to say?" I said, "No." He was like, "I want you to say you're not gonna be on a airplane going to Tuscaloosa on Thursday. I'm not gonna be on an airplane going to Tuscaloosa Thursday." And Thursday he was on
yeah,
an airplane going to Tuscaloosa.
yeah,
I'm like, bro, you
yeah,
can't make
yeah.
this shit.
I mean, we also talked about on the show what happened to the Washington coach who was playing the national championship. A week later, he was at Alabama and he didn't tell his team nothing. You know what I mean? So this is what these coaches do. Lane Kiffin have been to about 4 or 5 schools. So that's just how these head coaches are. But yeah, to answer your question, I'll give my take later on the other stuff. But yeah, to answer your question, I believe these guys are asked to be there and they're answering the call. So I don't want to criticize them for it because I believe these coaches, I believe Ed Reed, he had an opportunity to coach at Miami. He didn't do it. He could be coach. He can easily be a head coach with the Ravens, or he could be a position coach with the Ravens right now, easily. Eddie George, he could easily be a coach in the NFL
Facts.
with the Titans. I mean, a lot of these, Deshaun Jackson, I mean, yeah, he's more like a loner and he kind of alienates himself, but he could easily do a coach at Cal, easily, just off his prestige what he's done for the school alone. So for I don't like how it's being perceived as, oh, they're using HBCUs as stepping stone. Well, everybody's benefiting from this. I mean, the HBCUs are benefiting from this. A
What
lot of
about
folks don't like that. I hear y'all what y'all saying about how Coach Prime left and everything, but Coach Prime left Jackson State better than when he received it.
no?
Speak the
New
truth.
You
facility,
are you are
new
100%
new
accurate.
no,
In
the
fact,
new facilities, new facilities. You got Under Armour, you got Walmart. He had all this money and revenue coming in. He handpicked the head coach who's doing a phenomenal job now. He
yeah.
took some HBCU coach with him to Colorado, so he left it better than he had it, regardless if he was there for 2 years or whatever. That's what us you want from somebody. So
Well,
you
it was
know,
2 years, but technically it was 3 seasons because they
yeah,
played instead of spring training, they had a season during COVID, like right after COVID hit.
yeah, yeah,
So technically it was 3 seasons. But you're right from the standpoint of that's the reason why TC Taylor and Jackson State was so dominant this year because
yeah,
because all of the everything that Sanders put in place prior to him leaving to go to Colorado. And like I said, I wasn't I didn't have an issue with him leaving and going to Colorado. I think it was just the way he did it that kind of rubbed me the wrong
Yeah,
way.
yeah, the way he
uh,
did it.
you can
But
you can
you
go
can't
for
deny
say that
the
you
promise.
can say that for any coach.
No, yeah,
So,
yeah. Well, like
That's
I
true.
said, I said it for years. I had issue with the way Nick Saban left LSU and went to the Dolphins, and the way he left the Dolphins and came to Alabama. So yeah, I mean, it just don't apply to Deion Sanders. It
Right.
applies to a lot of coaches. In fact,
Yeah.
the one coach that I really admire with the way he did it, I can't think of the black coach name from Kansas. He was the head coach at Buffalo, and he was
Yeah.
honest. And he told his
Yeah.
players, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm leaving and I'm going to Kansas." And for the bowl game, they literally got on the field and damn near literally laid down and just got the brakes beat off. I'm like,
Yeah.
bro, he was honest with y'all. Like, why y'all just gonna quit on the dude, bro?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
So-
yeah. But we
Oh, his name
saturated the
Turner His name Turner Gill.
Turner Gill.
Yeah,
And
Turner,
we saturated,
yeah.
and my bad, Big Joe, we saturated the conversation, talk about, HBCU and talking about Deion and others, but cutting it clear. How you think Deshaun Jackson will do?
Just Deshaun or Michael Vick or both of them or
Just Deshaun. You can weigh in on
um I think Deshaun will obviously like Coach said, I'm a believer that if you play in the NFL, you can be a head coach. I mean, because the all the studying you have to do and whatnot, especially if you play on offense, the playbook that you have to read, the calls you have to memorize, and the offenses you have to play in, you can be a head coach. A head coach is just somebody who can develop players, who can galvanize young men and put them in position to win. That's pretty much all a head coach does. You know what I mean? So if your players respect you, they're going to follow you, a la, like Freeman or Franklin. So I think Deshaun's going to I think Deshaun it's going to be dependent the coaching staff he can rally around him because I know Deshaun to a degree. He's a very West Coast cat, he kind of alienated some people to a degree. So it depends on who he can get on his coaching staff. The thing about, being a first time head coach, you're gonna need some mentors around you. You're gonna have some guys you're gonna have to lean on, and you're gonna have to be able to, ask for advice in these situations, as a first time head coach. But as far as him knowing offenses and putting folks in position, I think he'll do a great job. It'd be interesting to see the coaching staff that he assembles that's going to help push him forward. Because we've seen Deion, he shuffled through a lot of coaches trying to find his rhythm, trying to find out what works for his team. I think Deshaun, yeah, he's going to have to. I think he'll be a leader of men. He'll definitely get the speedsters to come there. He's going to run a West Coast offense. They're going to throw deep balls. They're going to go slants. They're going to throw, all that kind of stuff. So, but be interesting to see the coach staff he has around him. But I think he's going to do good. I don't see him doing no worse than any other, any other coach. You know what I mean? So I think he'll be fine.
I agree, and Autism Boy, I think Deshaun Jackson is gonna be fine as well. Anthony Bolton said, "Remember when Bobby Petrino left the Falcons midweek by writing a short note to the players?"
Man, that was
Shaking
a
my
sucker
head.
move there. Oh, that was a sucker move. I ain't gonna lie. As a Saints fan, I'm like, man, I was calling this dude all kind of bees, and I'm like, bro, you like a straight hoe.
Right. And while we were talking, look what Big Reg put. Speaking of coaches, Patriots fired Gerard Mayo after
Why? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I figured that. Yeah. They're gonna hire Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel gonna be the next head coach at Patriots.
Man, hey, bro, that's
Damn.
man.
So y'all left him.
Come on now. Y'all know how this go. Y'all literally thought the
You're right.
Patriots.
Don't be
Y'all
surprised.
thought the Patriots was gonna have a black head coach. Are y'all serious? The Patriots. But you gonna think of how racist Boston is, Massachusetts or whatever, that whole area. They gonna have a black head coach leading the team? Come on now. Come on.
I mean, you make a valid
And that
Big Joe,
and
but I
that
mean,
team was straight garbage too.
it
Come
wasn't
on.
his fault. I mean, if you're gonna fire him, fire the damn general manager.
I know.
Hell, they're gonna fire Antonio Pierce too. It is what it is.
It was. I was saying,
Yeah.
Coach, it was supposed to be that team
Yeah.
was supposed to be bad on purpose,
Yeah.
so they can get the top 5 pick.
So that's what I'm saying. So Pierce and Mayo gonna be fired or are fired, but McCarthy, he gets recycled job after job, and he don't really do nothing. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, we know what it is.
You ain't lying. we shouldn't be surprised. We've seen this happen to black coaches before.
But I ain't gonna lie though, bro. I mean,
the
it's
Romeo
blatant.
Cornells and Lovey
I mean,
Smiths. Yeah,
this blatant sucker
seen it
ass
before.
double standard aggravates me though, bro. Man. I mean, if that's the case, why did you even make either one of them the head coach after they did good jobs as interim coaches? Come on, man. Like,
y'all remember
man, what we
not
doing,
not too long ago, Brian Flores.
oh, he
Same
another
thing
one.
in Miami. Yeah,
Yep, they gave him the short end of the stick big time.
yeah. I mean,
So yeah, so Big Joe got a point. We shouldn't be acting surprised.
No, I mean, I know he right off the flap. I understand that, but I mean that's the thing that aggravates
It
me.
still irritates you though.
Yeah, I mean
feel you.
it's the blatant double standard that people don't really see. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, since we all
they see it. They see
Oh,
it.
they see it. They don't give a
You know
damn.
what I'm saying?
Oh, they see it.
I mean, let a black fighter see something like Devin Haney say, "Hey, a white boy never beat me. Oh, it's the worst thing in the world." Ryan Garcia go on this racist tirade,
But
and
it's,
don't nobody have no smoke for him. Nobody.
hey,
Except
well, they have that in the USC already. Kobe Covington, he does answer just like Ryan Garcia, and he's praised. He'll talk all pops up about the black fighters that he fight, make fun of their coach and all that kind of stuff. He go in there and get his ass whooped, but don't nobody say nothing. Oh, he's good for marketing. He makes the build up fun. So it's double standard for sure. Mayo didn't have no. You can't develop no team in 1 year. No, nowhere. Hell, we seen what happened to Coach Strong. None of them wanted Coach Strong to coach at Texas. None of them. All the alumni all the boosters had to apologize and stand behind them after they hired him, but they didn't want him. They didn't want no black coach to head up Texas. University of Texas? Come on now. And well, I ain't gonna say what he did on the side, but if you look into it, he had some stuff going on off the field. But when he got fired, remember the whole team.
Bobby Petrino probably had worse than that going on.
Oh yeah, for sure. But see, when Coach Strong got fired, the team wanted to protest because they didn't want him fired. That's how we talk about players who believe in their coach, and Coach Strong actually was the catalyst in the recruiting. That's what built Texas to be what it is today. His recruiting started that. When Mac Brown was there, they were hot garbage. They bring in Coach Strong, he recruit guys for the last 2 years, and Texas what it is now.
He recruited JB. You remember Joe Bergeron? We were teammates for a little bit. We was in.
Yeah.
He recruited Big Joe. Joe Bergeron.
But you know how it is. It's the same reason why Eric Bieniemy can't get no head coaching job.
Man, that dude should have been a head coaching job.
I mean, shout out to Gerard Mayo.
Shout out Joe. I hope he land on his.
Keep your head up, bro.
So this just shows you he played for the Patriots. He was on them championship teams. He is what they call the Patriot way. He's pretty much he pretty much kind of mimicked Bill Belichick in a certain way. If you play for them and they still do you like this, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Right. Man. Yeah, we can cook on this all day. Talk about Coach, but in a nutshell, we wish Deshaun Jackson the best. That's all safe to say, huh?
Him and Mike Vick.
Yes, sir. Sidebar. He said, congratulations to Mike Evans for tying Jerry Rice's record for 1,000-yard seasons in his first 11 years.
On the radio broadcast.
Shout out to Mike Evans.
On the radio broadcast, Deuce McAllister was petty. He was like, look, we're a division rival. I think he only needed with 2 more catches and like 5 more yards. So they made an effort to get him the ball. So Deuce McAllister was like, hell, if I was the Saints, as soon as they snapped the ball, I'll tackle him to the line of scrimmage.
For real.
I said, damn, Deuce. He was right, Chad, but I mean, he made it clear like, oh, no, man, you ain't setting no records on me.
But Deuce old school. He got that old school mindset.
Yeah.
The young boy don't know nothing about that.
They didn't have no more than like, what, I think 20 seconds left in the game. And they got in them couple catches, and I'm like, damn. But he was right. I felt like he was right on that point.
He caught a pass with 4 seconds left. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but shout out to Mike Evans though. But yeah, blessings to Deshaun Jackson and Mike Vick for their upcoming seasons, man. Hope they do all right. They may have some growing pains, but hopefully they have some room to grow and they won't do what same thing that happened to Gerard Mayo won't happen to them. But anyway, moving on. Who you got for the MVP this year in the NFL as we go into our NFL talk? Starting with you, JB. No, I'm saying you for last. I'm saying you for last. Big Joe, who you got MVP? Is it Lamar or is it Josh Allen? Cause they both balling.
Yeah, they both balling. Well, you asking the wrong brother. I'm a little biased because me and Lamar went to the same school, um,
That's why I
but
came to you.
but no, I feel like it has to be Lamar Jackson for the not because we went to the same school or whatnot. Hell, Josh Allen is having a phenomenal year. If he doesn't have what's that boy named the wide receiver who left? He doesn't have Diggs, and he's doing better. He's doing better, and he's actually the stamp down leader of the team. And they wouldn't have won a lot of the games if he wasn't their quarterback. So he's put him in position to win. He's having a phenomenal year. He got the young homie Keon Coleman coming along, and they got the running backs, doing their thing. So he got the D line like Oliver. He has a phenomenal team, and he is their team. So he's having a hell of a year. But Lamar Jackson is having a historic year. He's the first quarterback ever to have 4,000 plus yards, 900 and 900 yards rushing. His stats speak for itself. He won the MVP last year, and his stats this year are better than last year. So, I mean, like, so what am I supposed to do with that? So am I supposed to just ignore that he had a historic season? Am I supposed to ignore the touchdown to interception ratio? Am I supposed to ignore that because he won the MVP last year? No. Everybody who plays football and knows football without having some kind of stereotype bias, whether if some folks don't like Lamar Jackson because he wears a grill or he talks the way he talks and all that kind of stuff. Take away all that, all the color of his skin. He had a historic MVP season. A lot of folks were doubting him. A lot of folks call Lamar Jackson a loser. Meanwhile, their quarterback is struggling this year. So Lamar has grown as a passer. Some will say, "Oh, well, he has Pro Bowlers on their team and this and this and this." Well, he had Pro Bowlers on his team last year and still won the MVP. So what's the difference? Oh, well, you got Derrick Henry. Okay, well, Derrick Henry got Lamar Jackson. Did Derrick Henry have the year that he had without Lamar Jackson? Probably not. So I mean, so what's the real argument here? I believe that Lamar should be the MVP. Again, his numbers were better this year than it was last year when he won the MVP. Without the Ravens as well, just like how with Allen and the Bills, without the Ravens, without Lamar Jackson, there is no Baltimore Ravens. There wouldn't be at would it be at without him. So I
Facts.
think Lamar
Facts.
Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson for MVP. He's like Cam Newton was saying, either you're a game manager or you're a game changer. If you're a game manager, you still get paid. You can still make money. You can still consider a top flight quarterback. But a game changer is you uplift the whole team. Same way, same perfect example as when LeBron James was at Cleveland. When he was at Cleveland, they were in the finals every year. As soon as he left, hot garbage. He came back, won a championship. They left, hot garbage. Same thing with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. So I say Lamar Jackson is the MVP this year based off his numbers alone. And Josh Allen had a phenomenal season, but you just got to do better. But again, Josh Allen's a running quarterback too. So if you want to equate styles, I mean, he's a running quarterback. He sometimes throws interceptions and doesn't throw the ball the best. How come he doesn't have 4,000 plus yards throwing and 900 to 1,000 yards rushing? How come he doesn't when they're both mobile quarterbacks? But nobody brings that up though.
Facts, man. You cooked on that, man. Man, couldn't say it better myself. Coach, who you got?
Well, I'm the same as Big Joe in this particular instance. The only difference is I didn't go to Louisville. I went to the Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. But I'm biased. The same way the world we live in shows us that there's a blatant double standard. I'm on the opposite side of that double standard in this particular instance. I'm the opposite when it comes to who I think, is the better quarterback. And to me, it's not even a real question. I think hands down, clear cut is Lamar Jackson. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. Allen is a good quarterback, but I don't think he on Lamar Jackson's level, And just to kind of answer Autism Boy's question, we kind of addressed it like several shows back when we talked about Cam Newton versus Eli Manning. Me personally, I thought Cam Newton had a better career than Eli Manning, and I think Lamar Jackson is light years better than Eli Manning. But in terms of Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, I say Lamar Jackson for MVP.
I agree. All right, JB, what's your thoughts?
Now, I keep hearing people say, well, we got to give it to Josh Allen this year because, last year, his numbers was better than Lamar, but we gave it to Lamar. And I have to remind people, there was a time in the season where Josh Allen was playing like hot horseshit. He threw a lot of interceptions some games.
Like
and
hot what?
Hot horseshit.
Good
He
Lord.
wasn't playing.
Yeah.
Yes. So, because Josh Allen he's a gunslinger, and gunslingers throw interceptions. There's no type of throw they don't like. Sometimes they will put the ball in harm's way. And, that's some people like that. Some people don't. But, no shout at Josh Allen. He's a good quarterback. He's a elite quarterback. But last year, anybody who watched the game, who watched Lamar Jackson tear up the number one team, or some people say the number one defense in the league, the 49ers, then he tore apart everybody say that they had they said it was going to be a gunslinger, and it was supposed to be a shootout with the Miami Dolphins, when Miami Dolphins was on fire yesterday, last year, when they had the number one offense in the NFL last year. He showed that he could, put his team in the position to compete offensively with the number one offense in the league. And then when the defense showed up last year against the 49ers, he put his team in a position to beat the 49ers. And he did it handily too against, Fred Warner and them boys. He's been doing that all year. Not just this year, but last year. This year, Zay Flowers has gotten better. Brashad Perry, not Brashad. I was about to say Brashad Perry. Lord Jesus, I meant what's your boy name? Number 7.
Rashad Bateman.
Rashad Bateman has actually been healthy this year, and is actually catching more balls than he has dropped. Okay. Now I keep hearing people as well saying, well, he got Derrick Henry, so he can't win the MVP. So I want everybody who say that to look at the last 5 MVPs in the last 5 years and look at their weapons. And then if we're gonna do that, so when Mahomes had Tyreek Hill, when Peyton Manning had Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison, when Tom Brady had Randy Moss, get well, boy, get well, Randy, and when Aaron Rodgers had Greg Jennings and Jordy Nelson and all them boys. Are,
Michael Finley. Yeah.
are we gonna take are we gonna water down their MVP and their stats? No, because I've been saying for years, the dudes on this show, Jared, Town, and Coach, heard me say, if Lamar ever gets a weapon, I don't give a damn wide receiver or running back, the league is in trouble. Because everybody don't say shit when Patrick Mahomes had his weapons. When now this is before Travis Kelce started messing with Taylor Swift. When Travis Kelce was a beast. When they had Tyreek Hill, didn't nobody say shit. So I don't want to hear nobody crying about him having Derrick Henry. I don't want to hear it.
And you know
and he bet not get a true elite wide receiver. You better hope he don't get a T. Higgins. You better hope he don't get somebody like a what's the boy we just talked about for the Buccaneers?
Michael Evans.
Mike Evans,
yeah.
Then y'all gonna really be crying.
And then and Big Joe and Coach, look at this. Zay Flowers is our only wide receiver that we drafted, not picked up from the free agency or anything like that, that we drafted that made it to the Pro Bowl.
Yep.
First wide receiver in franchise history. So
hell, I remember a time where I was heard if you're a wide receiver, don't go to Baltimore because you ain't gonna get the ball. Hell, ain't that the reason why? Ain't that the reason why Antonio Brown's cousin left and went to the Cardinals? Now he had somewhere else because he wasn't getting the ball at Buffalo. I mean, he wasn't getting the ball at Baltimore. So I mean, but I mean, to y'all credit, I mean, people say these things, right? People say these things, but you know, let's. I don't want to cut you off, JB. I want to throw these stats out there so folks understand what I'm talking about. Because, you know, folks talk about Lamar and his throwing. Okay, so let's look at Josh Allen's stats. These are just throwing. We ain't looking at rushing. This is just throwing the ball. So Josh Allen has 3,731 passing yards, which is ranked 10th in the NFL. He has 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and a 76.9 QBR, which is second in the league. So 3,700, 28 and 6. That's his stats. But he's a thrower of the ball. He's a gunslinger. Let it rip, as they say, right? Well, let's look at Lamar Jackson's stats here. The quarterback where wide receivers shouldn't go play at because you ain't going to get the ball. 4,172 passing yards. I think that's more than 3,700, right? I'm just saying. He has 41 touchdowns, 41 throwing touchdowns. That's a little more than what's that? 26, 28. That's a little more, right? Okay, that's a lot more actually. Only had 4 interceptions, and he had the highest QBR, 77.8 out of anybody in the NFL. But Lamar can't throw the ball. That's what I hear. So Zay Flowers got to the Pro Bowl just by running down the field and doing good routes. Yeah, all right. Go ahead, homie.
And another thing, shout out to Big Red, because he talked about how we had a hard schedule this year, playing the Kansas City Chiefs the first game of the season, and then coming back to Raiders. The Raiders always play as tough, even when they suck. They always gonna play as tough because we got history in the AFC Championship in 2000. So the Raiders is always gonna play as tough. And they had that boy, number 17. He's on the Jets now. Adams.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams. So, I mean, we started off 0-2, and everybody was saying that based off, everybody is statistical and people who 0-2 don't make the playoffs. Well, you can throw that out the window. But nobody don't want to talk about this. Only hear a few people talk about this. The Bills, I know, and I'm not saying that Josh Allen, what he's doing shouldn't be commended, and he don't have the weapons he had last year, but he should put up them numbers within them sorry ass division he is.
Facts.
He played Miami, right? Who else in their division? They play the Jets. And I'm missing somebody. The Bills, Jets, and the Patriots. You don't need no number one wide receivers for them team if you play them twice. I mean, so I don't understand. How is Lamar not the MVP? You play the big. I know the Bengals defense is trash, but they got the number one, probably arguably the number one offense in the league with Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase.
I don't know what Jamar Chase is going to rewrite how much wide receivers is going to get. That boy balling.
Yes. Then you got the Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh got the number one defense in the league. They haven't been playing good because they offenses. Everybody figured them out. Like if you just stop number 14 and stop the run, they're not going to do nothing. But they got the number one defense. That's always a hard team. And the Browns, I don't give a damn. I think the Browns always play us hard. I think one year we lost to them when they had Thad Lewis at quarterback. So that's gonna happen. They're gonna give us a tough game. And then it was a time where Jameis Winston was actually hitting his target. So, and then we dropped about 5-10 interceptions that game as well. But we lost. So if y'all want to go based off that, fine. So I hear people, well, we can't give Lamar the MVP because he lost to the Raiders and the Browns. Okay, fine. But just know this: when this shit is reversed, when you have a situation like this, because I know a lot of people didn't want to give Lamar Jackson the MVP last year. They wanted to give it to Christian McCaffrey. They couldn't give it to Josh Allen, but Josh Allen was not playing. There was months last year where he was not playing well
at all.
Even with Stephon Diggs. Hell, he had to win. He had to go on the winning streak. Because I remember them talking about them potentially not making the playoffs. He was playing last year. They were playing so bad. So y'all forgot about that shit, didn't you? So he had to go on the win streak. But long story short, man, my MVP is Lamar Jackson. There's it's really nothing else to say. There's really no discussion about it. If you don't give it to Lamar, then that means we need to just give it to who we like the most reward. If you don't give it to Lamar,
Facts.
Because last year they couldn't give it to Christian McCaffrey because he wasn't the most valuable winner because he would to me Christian McCaffrey wasn't the best player on that team on the 49ers. Trent Williams obviously was. So when Trent Williams went down, that offense changed.
We see what it is this year.
Yes.
Because if Sheldon's in here, I thought Brock Purdy was like Joe Montana.
They wanted to give it to Brock Purdy, and just like Josh Allen, Brock Purdy played like horse shit against the Baltimore. That people were like, damn, we can't give him the MVP now. We tore his ass up. And we showed everybody, yes, Christian McCaffrey can have a good game, but we can still beat them. We can still beat the 49ers. That's not the most valuable player. if you can get stats and yards and you still get your ass whooped. If Lamar doesn't play well, we don't play well. Period.
Period. That's valuable.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Let me say this real quick. For a lot of folks saying that, oh well, you can't win it multiple times. You just got to give it to somebody else. I'm gonna read off some of these MVPs and let me know if we have any repeat offenders on this list. You dig what I'm saying?
There's a couple. Go ahead.
So here we go. We got I'm gonna start with 1989. 89, Joe Montana. 1990, Joe Montana. 91, Thurman Thomas. 92, Steve Young. 93, Emmitt Smith. 94, Steve Young. 95, Brett Favre. 96, Brett Favre. 97, Barry Sanders. 98, Terrell Davis. 99, Kurt Warner. 2000, Marshall Faulk. 2001, Kurt Warner. 2002, Rich Gannon. 2003, Peyton Manning. 2004, Peyton Manning. 2005, Sean Alexander. '06, LaDainian. '07, Brady. '08, Manning. '09, Manning. 10, Brady. 11, Rogers. 12, Peterson. 13, Manning. 14, Rogers. 15, Cam Newton. 16, Matt Ryan. 17, Tom Brady. 18, Patrick Mahomes. 19, Lamar Jackson. 20, Aaron Rodgers. 21, Aaron Rodgers. 22, Patrick Mahomes. And 23, Lamar Jackson. So a lot of folks saying if you want it, you got to give it to somebody else. But I believe I read a lot of folks who won it at least 3 to 4 times. So I'm just saying, go ahead, continue, brother.
We done with this topic. We cooked it. We souffled it. We broiled it. Boiled it. It's done. So everybody agrees that the MVP should be Lamar Jackson, basically. Mr. Action Jackson. Okay, let's move on. All right, and Big Joe, if you feel like it, would you do the honors of recapping fellas? This is the final week of the NFL regular season, week 18. Man, time has flown. But Big Joe, can you do the honors of recapping the week 18?
No problem. Give me a hot second here. Here we go. Okay. All right, y'all. This is the week 18 of the NFL. It has gone by fast. I told y'all enjoy all this football, NFL, college, your local high school games, junior college. And when it's over, it's all bad. But here we go. We didn't have no Thursday night football because there's no Thursday night football on week 18. It only was up to week 17. So we had the Bengals and the Steelers. The Bengals and the Steelers played on Saturday. The Bengals won 19-17. This was a tough win for the Bengals. The Bengals, they need this. They needed this win to be able to go into the playoffs. I believe they need the Jets to win, and I believe they need the Broncos to win. I believe to get into the playoffs, something like that. So, but the Bengals need that win. They won 19-17. They have a high-power offense. The Steelers are struggling going into the playoffs. The Pickens, his attitude is showing up. And a lot of folks feel like he's not ready yet to take the leadership role as number one wide receiver. Russell Wilson does not look like the old Russell Wilson. So we'll see how we'll see how the Steelers going to look next week in the playoffs. But shout out to the Bengals for getting that win 19-17. We'll see if we'll see them in the playoffs. And then we have the Ravens beating the Browns 35-10. The Browns have been a depleted team. The star that they have on their team is Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett showed up. He still continues to play. He continues to be a professional, regardless of they winning or losing. Lamar Jackson is his true form. The offense struggled a little bit in the first half, but it finally got clicking later on. So shout out to the Ravens for winning 35-10. And I'm hearing that Myles Garrett has an announcement to make, so I think he's going to be traded or going to be leaving or going somewhere else. So interesting to see where he leads up. So in the earlier games, we have the Bears and the Packers. The Bears and Packers are always a tough fall game. There's divisional opponent, and we had the Bears won 24-22. which was interesting. I thought the Packers were going to show up because they needed this win to have some momentum in the playoffs. But the Bears showed up for the last game of the season and they got the win over the Packers. So a little bit of a spoiler. The Bears won 24-22. We have the Giants and Eagles. Be honest, I didn't watch this game because I was pissed off that Saquon didn't play. I believe like he should have played. They got the record only 100-some yards away. But anywho, they benched him, so it was an easy win for the Eagles, 2013. Everybody had the second, third string guys in there, but the Eagles still won. And then we had the Commanders beat the Cowboys 23-19. I believe Jaden Daniels, he didn't play, I believe, was in the third quarter, so they kind of set him out and whatnot, and they brought in the Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota got the job done at one point. The Cowboys were winning. I believe it was like 9-3 or something like that. But they ended up getting a victory. Shout out to the Commanders for winning 23-19. And this is McCarthy's last year. They haven't read up his contract. So a Cowboy carousel of who's going to be the head coach and what they're going to do. We're going to hear a lot about that in the offseason. So, but in my opinion, I don't think McCarthy's coming back. And then we have the Colts and the Jaguars. The Colts won 26-23. I don't think Richardson played. I believe he's injured, but the Colts got the win. So shout out to the Colts for getting that win, 26-23. Jaguars is another franchise who's in turmoil. A lot of free agents don't want to play there. They're gonna have a high draft pick, so a lot of folks still feel like Trevor Lawrence is not the answer, but they pay him a whole bunch of money, so you got to see it through. And then we have the Patriots. Patriots beat the Bills 23-16. This was Rod Mayo's last game coaching, and they won. Milton, who was a quarterback in Tennessee, started this game. He showed out, for his coach Rod Mayo, and the Bills didn't play any of their starters. They're resting their starters like most of the teams are, but the Patriots got the win 23-16 for a rough year for the Patriots. I think they only won 4 games, so hence the reason why Gerard Mayo was fired. So only had a chance to coach one season, didn't have no quarterback, but hey, whatever, right? And then we had the Buccaneers beat the Saints 27-19. We have coaches Saints. The Buccaneers won 27-19, as we saw. Mike Evans got over 1,000 yards to tie Jerry Rice's record for the most consecutive 1,000-yard streak in the season. So Baker Mayfield, he's a guy who loves to make sure all his players get their incentives. Which is why he's beloved and everybody wants to play for him. Is he a Super Bowl quarterback for that team? Who knows? But the team rallies him and they support him. And he takes care of his players. So shout out to the Buccaneers for getting that win, 27-19. Saints is another team. They're trying to figure out who's going to be the next head coach. Coach don't like number 4. What I mean? The running back has been hurt. There's a lot of lack of morale going on with the organization. It's going from the Saints to the Aints again. So hopefully, they can turn this what they're going to do in the offseason. I know Coach ain't a big fan of Dennis Allen either. Do they fire him? Do they keep him? Who knows? But I know that Eric Bieniemy will be a good fit. He's an offensive guy, but what do I know? Brian Flores could be available,
They fired Dennis Allen weeks ago. And then Risen was the interim coach. Eric Bieniemy would be a perfect fit. But just like you said with the Patriots, there's absolutely no way the Saints are gonna have a black head coach. They shopping the idea of Aaron Glenn being a head coach. Ain't no effing way they're gonna make Aaron Glenn the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. No way it's happening.
Yeah.
Autism boy. Look at the Chicago Bears record and tell me if they're overrated or not.
And then we had the next game we had the Panthers and the Falcons. The Panthers won 44-38, which was a high scoring game. Let me check the box score footage real quick because I didn't watch this game. Let me see the box score for this. Yeah, it looked like Bryce Young started. Bryce Young did his thing. He had 251 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. And then Penix Jr. started as well. He had 312, 2 touchdowns, but he had 1 interception. But this Penix, I think this is his second or third game starting, and he got over 300-something passing yards and 2 touchdowns.
He's the better quarterback, obviously.
Yeah, he's the quarterback of the future. And this is
JB called it.
Yeah,
JB called it. Big Joe, because you remember in the beginning of the season, JB was laughing. He said, "I hope the Falcons ain't pay Kirk Cousins all that money just to draft a backup."
Hey, well, he's he's a high price teacher. He's actually, is I think it's good that Penix sat this year. He got to learn some positivities behind Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins may not be an elite quarterback. He only won one playoff game, but he is an NFL quarterback, and then Penix can learn a lot of things from watching him play and all that kind of stuff. So that learning is definitely going to pay dividends for him next year. So, but anyways, shout out to the Panthers for winning 44-38. This is a good morale boost from them going to the offseason, hopefully. Again, Panthers are another organization with low morale. Hell, they had Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, and they're both doing good at other places. So we'll see if they can get some free agents to go over there. And then the Texans beat the Titans 23-14. So the Texans definitely needed to win. They were struggling. So they needed this for morality as well. They've been very struggling this year. C.J. Stroud has had a little sophomore slump. You know what I mean, to say the least. So, we'll see how they're going to be moving forward. And then with the games that are on right now, the Cardinals are beating the Niners 26-17 in the NFC West divisional game. Those divisional NFC West games are always tough, with the Cardinals and the Niners and the Rams and the Seahawks. They all got each other's number. So shout out to the Cardinals are winning that 26-17. Actually, what Shelton's 49ers are losing, 26-17. And then we have the Raiders and the Chargers. The Chargers are winning 2013, another divisional in the AFC West. I believe this will be Antonio Pierce's last game coaching. That's just what I'm hearing. So I think this will be his last year. And yeah, this is like what is his first or second year coaching? Something like that. But yeah, the Chargers are winning 2013. Then the Jets are beating the Dolphins 18-6. A lot of folks felt like, this is going to be Aaron Rodgers' last game. So a lot of folks feel like he's going to go out with a bang and he's going to show glimpses of his MVP status. You know what I mean? So, but they're winning right now, 18-6. Seahawks are beating the Rams 24-22, another divisional NFC West game. Those games are always close. So shout out to Seahawks winning 24-22. And then the Broncos are stomping out the Chiefs 31-0. Mind you, the Chiefs are not playing none of their starters. Everybody's resting, everybody's chilling because they're already in the playoffs and they got to bye. But I have to give an apology to Bo Nix. I wasn't a big fan of Bo Nix. I didn't see him do too much at Auburn. I thought he was just a product when he was at Oregon, but I have to eat crow and say that Bo Nix is becoming to be a really good quarterback. Sean Payton has taken a liking to him.
You're
He
not the
sees a
only one.
lot of him. I don't know if he sees whatever he sees, he likes him more than he liked Russell Wilson. So shout out to Bo Nix for he's gonna have he has struggled a little bit because he is a rookie, but he has showed up to the plate and he's considered to be has ability to be a good quarterback in this league. So shout out to Bo Nix. And the game we have later on this evening for Sunday night will be the Vikings and the Lions, which I believe everybody is playing their starters. I believe so. Back to you.
Yeah, very good recap, Big Joe. And you're not the only one about that Bo Nix. Me and JB was on Bo Nix's helmet when he was, at Oregon and about
I
to be
was
drafted.
too.
Yeah, Coach was too. That's right. So you're not the only one. We all eating crow, with
I
a
seen
shot
him.
crow.
It's just we seen him when he was at Auburn. He was not the same quarterback he is now. He was terrible.
And like you said, we just figured out when he was at Oregon, transferred to Oregon, he would just, benefit from that environment, that, all them weapons but he's proving everybody wrong. But anyway, yeah, autism boy, yeah, under two Bear head coach, yeah, the Bears are not that good. But anyway, Kirk Cousins is is at Magic City as soon as the game ended. 1-2-3 Cancun, Memphis man. Facts. Yeah, but man, can y'all believe this is the end of the regular season? It's a new year. Matter of fact, bump that. It's a new year. Time is flying. So I say all that to say this, y'all. And I know we get into, we already did our New Year resolution and we're trying to work to it. With time going by like this, y'all, one thing I do want to say is anything you know in your heart you need to do, go ahead and do it. Don't procrastinate. Don't wait till the last minute. Go ahead and do it because tomorrow's not promised to any of us. So I wish all of you a blessed year. Hope everything that you prayed for and you strive and work hard for, it comes to a head. But while we wrapping everything up, Big Joe, let everybody know where they can meet you and see you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can catch me on all LDBC platforms, showing love to the brothers and sisters of Almighty LDBC. Shout out to everybody on the panel. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody who's gonna catch the replay. Hey, y'all, it's the NFL season is over. Um, About to go to the playoffs. Everybody watch all the games, all of them. Watch all the games. Same thing with college. Watch all the college playoff games. Because again, I know none of y'all ain't gonna watch the UFL games. We shown that. So a lot of y'all won't complain we ain't got no football, but you ain't gonna watch no UFL games. So shout out to everybody. I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I believe in New Year priorities.
Mm,
Make things your priority. If because when you want to do something, you're gonna make it happen. If
yes,
for
sir.
all fellas out there, if there's this girl you trying to holler at, you gonna make sure you holler at her. Use that same energy, you're gonna be with your goals. Well, if it's losing weight, saving money, moving forward in your career, whatever it is, don't make it a wish list. Don't make it a resolution. Make it a priority. Salute to everybody.
Facts.
Man,
Yeah.
Like Brandon said, Pastor Townsend up here in this evening. But uh,
The
Coach, let everybody
Lord.
know. Coach, let everybody know where they can meet you and see you.
Man, you can catch me at Coach 67 Sports TV here on YouTube. Coach 67 Sports TV on all social media platforms. I had a Southern University video, talking about recruiting that did some nice numbers for my channel. I think I did like 1.7K. So, come over and check me out. I'm probably gonna drop another video maybe this evening, maybe tomorrow. But come over on my platform, check me out. Happy New Year's to everyone. Y'all have a blessed, phenomenal evening. Blessed, phenomenal work week. I'll catch y'all on the rebound. Peace and blessing to everyone.
And JB, thank you for always being there behind me, for me behind closed doors. Is there any lasting words you want to say before we wrap it up?
now, I mean, y'all be blessed, man. Let's start this 2025 year right.
All right, y'all heard it. Y'all heard the brothers, man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Y'all have a blessed rest of your Sunday. And like Coach said, a blessed work week. And y'all remember the words of Big Joe. The heck. No, I'm going to go ahead and say it. The hell with New Year's resolution. Make it things priority. Do it now. But with me saying that, y'all have a blessed Sunday. This was another installment of the Southern Baller Show. Y'all be blessed.